What's up? What's up, everybody? Woo! We have the beautiful Beverly Burton with us today. So, Bev, tell me, are we ready?
Are we ready? Maybe, KB,
Maybe not.
maybe not.
All right. Okay. All right. For those who are watching, um, I was being nosy one day on Facebook, as I usually am. I mean, who's not nowadays,
Who's
right?
not? Who's
All
not?
right. So I was looking through a few posts, and every now and then I see, of course, Beverly. She plays beautifully on the piano. For those who have not checked her out, y'all make sure y'all check it out. All right. She plays, she sings, she ministers.
Amen.
For this particular post, you weren't playing. Instead, you were uh, talking about why aren't we, essentially, why aren't ministries prepared? What, can you go into a little bit of that? What inspired you to post that? Maybe you could talk about it a little bit, and then talk about what inspired.
Sure. I'll
Yeah.
just kind of like glaze over the post,
Okay. Okay.
if that's cool. So let me just go back over the post.
All right.
The post said reflection, and at that point it was definitely a reflection.
Mhm.
I think as praise and worship leaders,
Mhm.
ministers of music,
Right.
we get a chance to be in so many different environments that vary. And this was just a reflection. It says music in the church works so differently than the world. Not in all churches though, because I think that in some churches I've seen good things happening, or
Right.
just the reflection of good things happening. So I might not
Right.
see a
Right.
rehearsal, but when it comes off, I'm like, oh, they must have rehearsed for that. You know what I'm saying? Like they must have put in the work. You may say, yeah, it's because God is in the church.
Right.
Well, if God is in the church, why are we so uninterested in working hard to make the music ministry honor Him? Why are we okay with being unprepared? Why is the music dropping in group chats the night before the ministry? Why are we letting singers wait till the morning to decide if they're going to be there or not? And when
Right.
they decide not to be there, we have to change the whole entire set because
Mm.
we're missing parts. Why? Why? I was like, really? I put it in caps. And then I said, I just want to be prepared.
Mm.
I
Mm.
just want to hit the right notes for Jesus. I don't want to make a joyful noise literally. That
Mm.
was not a literal statement when the Lord made it, when it was written. So
Yeah, it's the opposite of a joyful noise.
we try to I know we want to take the word of God literal, for real.
That's true. That's true.
But
So,
some things were not meant to be
mm.
taken literal. I don't think it was that text.
But do you think that happens often at many of our churches, or it's starting to get better as time goes by, or you think it's just getting worse and worse? I mean, it could be due to church budget. It could be due to people volunteering for their positions. People don't have enough money to support their ministry, so they call Tom, Dick, and Harry to lead praise and worship. And Tom is not very committed. He has 3 jobs. Sally has 8 kids. You know, um, what do you think the problem is?
Wow, that you kind of hit a lot of problems, and I was like, oh,
Mm.
that. So I think one of the problems is that everybody does not get compensated for their time.
Okay.
So you might have like a praise and worship leader getting compensated, but
Mm.
the rest of the singers on that team are not honored as if.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay, you might have the keyboardist being compensated, but there are people on the team or within the team who might even be members of the church who are not being compensated for their time.
Mm.
So I think one of the reasons is, people come to the table as they feel valued. So
Mm.
if I'm not feeling valued as a backup singer, right? Let's just put it that way, or as someone who is singing background, then my energy might be a little bit different because you've already shown me that you don't value me. Because
Right.
all I walk away with is a God bless you instead of a real, tangible, equal exchange, right?
Mm.
So
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
exchange would be this monetary thing right here. I'm going to give it to you in exchange for the time, the effort you come out to rehearsals, and the request that I want you to put in more
Woo.
time.
Let me pull out my notepad. Let me take some notes. Go ahead. Keep going.
Listen,
I
something you
like this. Nah, seriously, no, for real though. Seriously, this is why I love topics like this because they're so organic. The moment they start, they're never the same every time we talk
yeah,
about it. Because
yeah,
more things, I may talk to you about it now, but by next week I have another example to give you.
got it.
So yeah, so do you feel okay? So what do you think would be your solution with that? And I know you're probably gonna ask me the same questions,
You already know.
but
I think that one of my solutions to that
mm,
is to be a better steward
okay,
as a church body. And that would look like making sure that when I am budgeting for the year,
okay.
I'm budgeting for a team, not just a worship leader or a pianist.
So would that be for the administration side? That would be for those who are in
No,
charge.
it's for everybody's side because I
Okay,
feel like,
okay,
let's just say ideally, right? If I was, I'm not a minister of music anywhere, like I
okay,
might do praise and worship, but I'm not a minister of music anywhere. If I
okay,
was a music minister somewhere, I'm just a proactive person. Like
okay.
sometimes I
You
am
volunteer.
misunderstood for my proactivity
Yes,
because I'm
yes.
like, we can handle this. And,
Okay,
it might seem a little bit like
okay,
forward or whatever, but I would connect with the administration to say, hey, we're going to have a popcorn fundraiser and we're going to raise, this is what our budget for the year is, and this is how much we are going to raise. What can you match it? So at the end of the day, we can make sure that everybody is covered. Even if we're saying, praise team members, don't worry, we're gonna put gas in your car. It got to start somewhere, but the level of value has to be shown because
mhm,
no, depending on the church that you actually come from,
mhm,
sometimes you don't get that immediate value in worship
mhm.
because if you say to me, hey Bev, look at my outfit, what do you think? And I'm like, yo, that joint, woo, I love that outfit, whatever.
Right.
You get an immediate sense of gratification or an immediate sense of value because sometimes you're in churches where you're doing praise and worship and they don't know how to show that they value what's ahead of them.
Okay.
So you're already feeling like, okay,
I'm not
you
gonna put
know,
my all into this.
you know what I'm saying? So I feel like,
They're only gonna sit there and play dead during the service, so I might
right.
as well not prepare as
And they
much.
might low key appreciate it. I don't know. That's what they say, but okay.
Hmm. So
You know,
that would probably be more of some of the issues for the people who are just the pew warmers, and even some of the elders, deacons. I noticed that even with some of the administration as well. Even they too, when they go back, as soon as they come off the pulpit,
Mhm.
what you saw on camera ain't what you see when they go to sit down.
Yeah.
As soon as the board of trustees go up to welcome everybody, they're like, "Hi, welcome everyone. Put a smile on you," and they get in their seat and they do this in their pew.
Yeah. So I
I've
think that
seen it.
bringing a level of appreciation
Right. Hmm.
that people can feel, that's tangible,
Interaction, right? Like a
would be, just a part of the direction of a start.
okay.
And raising funds like it's like it's senior class dues. Like sometimes the church really can't afford it, but
That's true.
how many times if we had a popcorn sale and raised the
Mhm.
money, could we really build a
Right.
solid budget and match it with whatever the church is given so that everybody could benefit from it? Because I don't even see it as pay. I
Mhm.
see it as an even exchange. A lot
Appreciation.
of times people will be like, can you do me a favor? Can you come to my church and sing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, a favor would mean that you would do me one back.
Yeah.
Like God bless you is not a favor, is not the way that it's not an even exchange. It's really not.
Mm.
And I can say that about having a ministry where I had to learn that God bless you is not an even exchange. I need to learn to sow into someone else's ministry who's sowing into mine, like,
Yeah.
so it's for all of us growing.
No, those are good points. It's like, when, I don't like to get too biblical because I'm not an expert, but I do have some experience. And I recall seeing a scripture where I guess Jesus was talking to them, and he says, if they ask you for a fish, you're not going to give them a serpent, are you? So essentially, if you know someone is in need, someone has a family, they need to take care of their family. Why are you comfortable in how you take care of your family whilst it's okay for someone else to not be able to take care of their family? In other words, if you know that the person is traveling to come see you, what's up with the gas money? Where the toll money at?
It's okay.
You know,
It's
they
okay to
went out
give
of their
back
way to be here.
to our members. It's okay.
Right. This is what they do full time. XYZ. Even if they didn't do it full time, they were up for how many hours
It's
preparing for this thing.
okay.
Even if you're not preparing that, paying them for what they do at the service, are you at least rewarding them for their preparation?
It's
Uh,
okay.
you know, stuff like that. I mean, these are some good points. Um, so, would you say now, what about the ones who are going to prepare? What would you say to the ones who have to minister? Now that we spoke about administration, what about the clinicians, the musicians, those who are going to go up there and do what they do? How would we encourage them by being prepared but yet being efficient? You know, what happens if they're in a situation where they don't feel reward? What then? At that point, should they
That's
stop?
a great question.
Yeah.
Because when I wrote this post, I
Okay.
it was more like a frustrated reflection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, okay, um, I had literally just done a few gigs that were like worldly gigs, right?
Yeah.
But the
Second.
level of organization
Mhm.
was so top tier that I was just like, so I think that it was me coming back to the space that I'm used to, or just being okay with, because I grew up in this space and it's
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
And then I wasn't okay anymore. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
just like, this is not okay. You're wasting my time. Because for a
Mm.
person who is in the season of preparation, where I'm like, everything's preparation for me now, it's more like, y'all really throwing some monkey wrenches my way, where it's just like all the preparation that I put in doesn't even make any sense now, because now it's Sabbath morning and we just changed the whole set on fly. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Mm. So maybe I'm putting something in the comments while you speak. Are we prepared? The Jamaican in me is trying to come out.
prepared.
Prepared, prepare
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible. You said mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For all my Jamaicans in the house. Are we prepared? Look, I done messed up my grammar.
It's
Are
all
we
right.
prepared as much as we should?
When you're speaking patois,
All
there is
right.
none. You just
Let me put that
make
up
up
in
your own.
there. All right. So I would say, all right. So to encourage those who are gonna get ready to go up there, they're discouraged. They're not getting paid to do it. What options do we have in those situations? Should we do less,
Mm.
or should we expect 20 songs for praise and worship from people who don't really, they're burnt out every week, and they're asked to go above and beyond. They have two jobs and all of that stuff, all of the responsibilities. Should we be asking them to do as much in those type of situations?
Man, you hit some real points here.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think that maybe being in a space where we either make an administrative part to the team. So you have the administration, but to the actual team, you have an administration to the team.
Right.
Something as simple as, I was somewhere recently and I looked over to the drummer and I'm like, did y'all send the words? Did the team send the words? Because of course I'm always
Mhm.
a guest worshiper, like praise and worship leader wherever I go. So I'm like,
Right.
did y'all send the team, the words? And they were like,
I don't know. Let me
so
talk
I
to.
gotta put on my Beverly vibe and I gotta be like, all right, walk over to the booth. And I was like, blessed Saturday, y'all.
I come in peace.
I come in peace. Is it possible that I know we about to get up there in 10 minutes, but is it possible that you can? And I
Let's
got
just do
a
the name
text
of
message from that same team because they made me email it, and I got a message this Sunday morning saying,
yeah.
"Please make sure that the lyrics are in X." And I'm like, I don't even go to this church, like, and I just put, you know what? I apologize. I just kept it cool. And then I hit up the members and I'm like, yo, this is exactly why we have to be organized because it just does not affect us. It affects everybody. So
Absolutely.
you're working with the sound team, you're working with the visual team. Like everybody needs to know that we got ours because I don't just get to not show up and it's just like, okay, cool, this is just me. I'm gonna be no, it affects other people. So I think getting an administrative team for your actual team is where that organization might start. Because you're right, people are burnt out, people got mad stuff to do.
Hmm.
And we don't want to say, because I know that I've been guilty of being like, well, then don't do it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right, right. That's true. That's so true. I
But
mean,
get a team for them so that they can have the basics, the reminders,
mhm, mhm.
people to remind them, you know what I'm saying, in place.
Right. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with that. Those are so. I mean, this is almost one of those things, and I gotta tell, I gotta be honest with you. This topic has been going on. I started when I was, of course, for those who don't know, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist
Okay.
Christian, right? So we have a thing every year called camp meeting. For those who are watching, for those who see this after the stream is over, um, and just like in the Sunday church, they have convention, right? We have our camp meeting, right? It's kind of like a convention, all of the conference, all of the
Mhm.
sister churches all over the East Coast,
Mhm.
Northeast, all type of stuff. And we get together and they'll delegate some of our sister musicians and brother musicians to run the workshop. So a lot of times I would get chosen to be some part of the workshop. Sometimes I hated it, but sometimes I really loved it because some of the topics were similar to this.
Mhm.
And I gotta tell you, I don't really see a lot of changes. I do now. I'm gonna push back on myself. I do see some churches making an effort, and I see a lot of the newer generation trying to step forward and pinch mama to the side, nudge mommy and nudge. All of the PKs are like, nah, dad, I don't think it's gonna be on YouTube. They're like, YouTube, what's that? You know what I'm saying? In
Right.
my day, we didn't do it. But listen, but after they watch YouTube a few times and now they're embarrassed, now they want to make a change. But by then you
Okay,
done
because
ran away.
sometimes,
Yeah.
physics, right?
Hmm.
Something does not change direction unless it's applied, unless a greater force or equal to that force is applied to it. So
Science.
sometimes we never know.
Yeah.
And I feel like even though I'm on this side, so my story, of course, is come back from doing some really professional gigs and now it's just like whoa. But you know what, I'm sure that I was a participant at one point in
Right.
time in the I don't even know what to call it.
The circus of volunteering.
Not the circus, sir, not the circus.
No,
But
but
I listen, I could freestyle my life away, okay?
right.
You put me up there, we gonna make praise and worship happen right now. I'm gonna pull it out my left shoe. Okay.
Shout out to all the storefront churches out there. That's what a lot of us learn in a lot of these churches behind the wall, or some of the churches
No, I
front
learned that in my
keeping
own
everybody
church,
in.
how to be
Yeah, a
disorganized and
lot of us
make
back in the
brothers
days
help
we
brothers.
had to freestyle, but it's good to have a spare tire in the car. But do you want to run on a spare tire all the time? And I think many churches, they're constantly pushing themselves to run on the spare tire.
Yeah.
And I would say another analogy I like to use in some of these workshops is, um, if I'm making the chicken and I could only make mac and cheese, do you really want me to make the chicken?
Mm,
If you're inviting 100 people to come after church, these people may not come back after they taste my chicken. I
that's
might be I might be real dope at making the mac and cheese, but you put me on the chicken, I'm gonna embarrass myself. Then what? right? So that's what, are we okay? If we feel that way, why are we okay with that in our music?
Right.
You know? So, all right. So for the churches that do have the budget, let's say they do have the budget, how would you organize or advise some of the best
I don't
methods?
know if it's advising.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay. So in your opinion,
in my opinion, yes, I'm
in
not
your,
advising anyone because, like I said, I feel
from
like
your experience,
I've come from that same. I'm cut from that same cloth. It's just now that I'm like, wait, this is really annoying. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, beyond annoying. But how would I advise?
yeah,
I think organization is where it starts.
yeah, yeah.
Because okay, so I have a question for you as well. If you
Okay. Talk to me. I'm here.
Okay, so we would say, because I feel like there were a lot of comments in the post, the same
Hmm.
post,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
were like, you know, don't worry about that, pray about that. Which is more important,
Okay.
the musical structure? And maybe I'm phrasing the question wrong.
Okay. No, go ahead. You take your
The,
time.
the, the,
You
the,
but
the musical structure or the
yeah.
spiritual structure? Because
Okay.
then there would be some people who would disagree right now to be like, no, it's all about the Holy Spirit coming in at that moment, right
Yeah.
now, right
And
there.
that's fine. And that's fine. We're not saying that's not
We're not
fine.
saying that. Okay, yeah.
Right. We're just suggesting improvements, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So which one do you think is more important,
All
if
right.
we can put it that way? Or you might spin it
It's
however.
well, if I was to look at it from a, I guess, a top down, I probably
Mhm.
would say, um, oh, I'm getting notifications. That's what's up. All right. Okay. All right. See, if it's non-urgent, I guess, how urgent is it, for someone to cancel and stuff like that? Um, is there a backup plan if someone cancels, right? I probably would want to look at, if you're going to drive a car, does it have a spare tire? Are your tires fully inflated, right? I probably would look at it. Okay, well, what's the backup plan should we cancel praise and worship today? Do we have maybe 3 or 4 set lists that one person could go up there and lead the people and let them sing together collectively, right? Like corporate worship, the whole congregation is singing some great hymns and mix up something in there, because he lives, and
Mm,
great is our God, and
mhm.
sings my soul, my Savior God, and other praise and worship, whichever ones, as long as it's not too repetitive, because that's another topic for another day. Because some of these songs we really sing them too much,
Listen,
and we end up running away. I saw one comment. A guy was like, "If I hear every praise again."
mhm.
So people do get tired. You don't want to wear them out, but have some backup lists ready. But once you get that in place, then I would say, um, and I was thinking about this: planning, prioritization, or
Mhm.
prioritizing. My Jamaican accent won't let me say it right.
Let it come out, brother. Let it come out.
Prioritizing, confirming. All right. So planning, prioritizing, confirming. All right. So once you, essentially, what I said before is a part of the planning phase, um, and prioritizing is a part of that as well. And then from there, you try to figure out what teams is going to sing, who's paid. If you have a budget, right, there might be multiple plans: one for if you have a budget, one for if you really don't have a budget. If you don't have a budget, don't just accept someone who's going to just say, yeah, I'll do it. I think as an administration, it's better to ask them, do you mind telling me, how hectic is your schedule, your work schedule, or are you one of those people that got 2, 3 jobs? Because if not, I don't think you should say yeah. I don't want you to go up there and freestyle every song. We're trying to, there's a time and a place for that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You could interrupt me anytime. Go ahead.
Didn't want to do it, but I don't think our churches hire I think it gets, their back gets against the wall. I've seen it in a lot of places, and they're just like, oh my God, we need somebody.
Right. Now, for the ones who, I mean, I agree with you. For the ones that do have the budget, um, I think singers should get paid. Like before I get a 7-piece band, I'm gonna at least get 3 girls that can sing real good, and I'm paying them first and foremost. Um, and then I may have to have a backup of 2 teams just in case somebody's, because the better you sing nowadays, you're not gonna, let's be honest, realistically, someone's gonna ask someone to visit their church to sing, someone's gonna ask you to be on tour, and before you know it, those 3 singers are gone. So backup, backup plan. Where's your tires? Where's your inflated tires? So I'd have 2 or 3 teams. Same thing for volunteers. Have 3 or 4 teams because people got kids, they got marriages and mortgages. And some people, the single people are trying to look somebody and they ain't nobody there at their church. So they want to go visit another church to look for a husband. You ain't not gonna find your husband at your church. Ain't no men at your church. So
They might be.
give your single people an opportunity to go visit another church and come back. You know what I'm saying? Or to go visit their family. So I mean, I'm just keeping it real with that. Um, but have your backup plans where that is concerned. And then from there, having, you know, I hate to say it, but have someone who has a musical ear to be involved in your sound. Have someone who musically inclined to be involved in your vetting process. When you're choosing a soprano, you're choosing an alto. If she's cracking all over the place, yeah, you have an idea of what songs that everyone likes to do that's already on the team, and you don't necessarily want to choose someone who can't hit those high notes, right? And you might have to downgrade some of your altos to tenor. So there's a lot of detailed and nuanced movements that someone could do to make it sound good. Then you could say, all right, we're killing the keyboardist. We got to add an organist to help him out because a lot of these songs isn't just chop, 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 chop. He needs something smooth to help round out the sounds. He might need a click track for certain songs. So we have to think big picture. What types of songs, what type of songs are we doing? Right? Are we just gonna do hymns? Hymn number 335. Let's stand and sing. What hymn number 422? March into Zion. Come we.
Because real talk, you don't need a whole team if you're gonna do that.
Joys be known. If you're okay with that, I can't help you.
But you don't need a whole team for that.
Exactly. So I think you have to think about what you need. The same way how you think about renting a van to go long distance because you got 10 people going with you. Versus you take your little Toyota Corolla because it's just you going to Canada. You see what I'm saying? So I think people have to be more mindful of the big picture. What type of songs do we want to hear? What is the demographic of the congregation? Are they Jamaican? Are they Haitian? Are they African? You know what I'm saying? What African country are they from? Is it a mixture? Are they Hispanic and, Asian, right? There's a lot that goes in there, but I definitely believe that this is a longer topic than.
No, it is.
It really is. And I think, I like to hear more people's opinions on this. I mean, is there anything that I'm leaving out? Any other concerns?
No, I don't think that we're leaving anything out. I just think that, like you said, it's definitely a broader topic. And just even what you just said now, it just makes me think sometimes. I'm like, sometimes maybe churches are just really wasting their money.
Yeah.
Because they want what they want, right? So you might have the admin that wants, but then your congregation wants something different. And the admin is spending money on that want, but then the congregation doesn't appreciate the want. So it's just like, listen, if this is a church that just enjoys a good hymn, like you sang so beautifully just a while ago.
We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. And that's fine. When I get to heaven, even if I get to heaven and that's what I hear, I'm not turning back. I'll be glad to hear it in heaven.
Because here's the
Right
thing.
here, my
Mhm.
ears is bleeding when I'm hearing that all the time. I'm gonna be like, could y'all? This is not songs I listen to on the CD, like
Yeah.
in my car.
Yeah.
What if I didn't grow up as a Christian and I came off the street hearing some beautiful music and I'm like, yo, I went to Agape in Rahway and I heard their praise and worship. Man, it sounded like, man, I want to go to heaven after I heard them sing. And then now you go to, Mount Zion Baptist Costal AME Church of God in Christ,
Mm-hmm.
Seventh Day Adventist Church. And
Right.
then you get there and you're like, what a mighty God we serve.
And that's fine
You
because
won't be like,
that might not be your place, right?
right. So, I mean, it depends. Like, if you want to pitch a tent and have a church, that's cool. But if you got bills to pay, you have to think about return on investment. You can't invest $2 million on a church building, but now you're not marketing the situation. Everything takes marketing. A crusade takes marketing. A gospel album takes marketing. A secular album drop-in takes marketing. We have to slow down and think about the implications. Are we running people away and then begging them for money? Oh, we need some donation, ladies and gentlemen. We need some donation so we can hire some beautiful musicians. The organist that we have here, we have to pay him $500 a week. Um, we need to raise money so we can have no
You
because
really sound like
y'all
whoever
done
that lady you mimicking. You sound like her. I don't know who
y'all
she.
done ran away all of the musicians, y'all ran away all of the young people, and then now you're begging for money. That's not the way. I struggle with this, and I know we're not. I don't think we have enough time left.
And I'm looking for the live stream. I don't see the live stream.
Yeah. Oh, really? Hmm. Anyway, we're gonna keep going.
Are you
Um,
are you recording though?
yeah.
Okay.
Regardless of the fact, I think ultimately, it still comes down to being mindful of what you already have because tomorrow's not promised. You might have a budget of $5,000 or $5,000 might be 15% of your budget, your overall budget. Use that 15% of your overall budget to make sure your food is good, the music is good. Make sure the ushers have what they need, right? 5 to 10 grand if you have the budget. If you only have $1,000 or $500 for your budget, use it wisely because the more you get more people, a lot of people get stingy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have a mindset that the more it grows, it takes more water. As you grow the garden, you still need more water to water it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we could go on, but I think I'm gonna stop it right there. I think
Okay.
this is a good topic. I think this topic needs a series. Maybe in the future, whenever you have time, maybe we could stop by and have this conversation in the future. Hopefully, a panel
Yeah.
discussion.
And
But
I think it's also motivated
yeah,
me to just want to have a conversation just on my face.
absolutely. Listen, I would join your live about it.
Got it.
I don't want this to just be limited to my platform.
Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely
and
not.
and just to wrap things up, well, first of all, let me thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen.
You
Woo!
welcome. I mean,
I'm gonna make sure
I
that I
was just
put
scared to
everything in
post.
the for anyone that stops by to watch this live. I'm gonna make sure that everything is in the description below. If I leave anything out, I'm probably gonna add it within a half an hour to an hour. So make sure you guys follow my girl Beverly. She's doing big things. I put her Instagram in there. Follow her on Facebook. She wrote a book. She's multi-talented, y'all. Some of y'all might need to hire for a workshop. Let's get it done.
Hey.
There's a lot of great ideas that we all could share as minstrels, as musicians, as experienced minister music, directors, organists, pianists, even the drummer. I've seen drummers that teach the choir and go back and play drums.
Mm-hmm.
Back at Community Baptist with Lester Taylor in Englewood. He used to have all of his musicians could teach back in the day. I don't know about now, but back in the days, his drummer could teach. Bernard Bell on the bass, he would get up, put down his bass, and go teach.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren Dawson used to be over there. He would go over there and teach.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Miller would teach. You know, so not every church is on that same level, but ultimately, we want to get to the point where we build some more awareness. We talk to each other more. we have these conversations. These are tough conversations to have because we're losing our young people. We're losing them. And if we listen to some of the stuff that's out there, it's getting harder and harder. So we got to meet them where they are as much as possible. I mean, we're not saying to compromise your beliefs, but as much as possible, meet someone halfway where they can, you give them milk before you give them the meat.
Right. And can I just say that I like the Holy Spirit just impressed upon my mind that it really is value.
Yeah.
It's people feeling value, because I feel like if the church appreciated the music that the young people want to sing halfway, because a lot of churches that I go to, they're willing to meet the church halfway. We're singing "Behold, He Comes Riding on a Cloud." We're incorporating,
right?
Doing a lot. We're doing a lot to incorporate what they want with what is current. Like what they want wasn't current when they were coming up, right? But I think that sometimes musicians slack, MDs slack, because it's just like if the dent that I'm trying to put in this situation is not even valued, after a while, you literally tune out the situation. Like you find more productive things to do with your time than even get the list of the musicians.
Right.
Because it's just
or they lose motivation, just not to cut you, or to lose motive. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No. I mean, all valid. I'm in complete. I feel like this is an all-you-can-eat buffet of topics.
Yeah.
That come crashing together, and there's a lot of personal issues, admin issues, and just support issues from the congregation. Those who sit, like we said, they sit there, they're dead in the middle. They're not even encouraging somebody. They don't even clap. They don't even say amen, nothing. And some churches, they're overboard. They want to dance until 5 o'clock, right? And they want to shout, and then nobody remember what the sermon is about. So I think a lot of ministries are a hot mess. Either they take it too far or they're not trying hard enough. Some people it's overkill. You get there, you're going to sweat out your clothes. You're going to be stink by the time that service is done.
But for the ones who don't drop the music, I feel like they just have better things to do with their time, and it's they don't see the value in, because everybody starts off hot, but then you kind of like get cold, because there's no excitement of moving from week to week. You know what I'm saying? With the music, because it's just like, if we were excited about it, it'd be like, all right, this is the music for this week, guys. Know your part to the. But everybody's waiting until Friday, because life is better than just preparing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beverly Burton, thank you for being here. I'm gonna just cut the live short, because ultimately we got to do a part 2, part 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I want everybody who sees this, comment below. Let us know what you think. Are we really prepared as much as we should? And what are some of the solutions that we should take for some of the churches that do have a budget and some of the churches that don't? I mean, it could go for weddings and funerals too, fine. But I see this, we see this being a big issue in our churches. So make sure y'all subscribe. We got some surprise to come in the future. Make sure y'all stay tuned. I got Sion. I'm going to talk to Sion on Friday. Still trying to get that time straightened out. But we got plenty of surprises, and we would love to see Miss Beverly Burton talk about this some more with us. Hopefully we'll have a panel discussion. So for those who are supporting the channel, for those who want to support, I'll provide in the link below. And also remember that this month is Breast Cancer Awareness. So I'll also provide a link below for those who'd like to show their support as well. And remember, whether you eat or drink or whatever it is that you do all to the glory of God. All right? We're going to catch you next time. Peace. Bye, bye, bye.
Yeah.
I wanna say thank you.